Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to another toy hunt. This one is actually a very cool toy hunt because I'm going to a store before it actually opens to the public. Dallas Vintage Toys has moved to a new location, and they actually invited over some YouTubers to come over this morning and see the store and film inside the store and post on YouTube about it. Today is Saturday, June 13th, but I'm headed to Dallas Vintage Toys, the new location. I'm going to show you guys what the new store looks like, show you all the stuff inside. Really excited about this, but let's go see what they got. All right, a short 15-mile ride, and we are here in front of the new Dallas Vintage Toys. Let me go ahead and get my mask on, and we'll show you what's inside. All right, so this is the new location for Dallas Vintage Toys, and let's go inside before I get hit by a car. All right, so welcome to the audio commentary portion of this video. I realized when I walked into the store immediately that they had some loud music playing, so I knew that I wouldn't be able to narrate as I was walking along. Plus I had this mask on my face, so I decided to just do a voiceover audio commentary, which you're listening to right now. Chicken pot pie. Now what I'm doing right now is I'm just basically walking through the store and showing you. If you've been into the old Dallas Vintage Toys, you know that there wasn't a whole lot of walking room. It was kind of a smaller store, but this new store, a lot of walking room, a lot of space. What you're seeing right now is some artwork that's on the walls. That's like a big mural of Snake Mountain. I'm in the vault right now, and the vault is where they have all of their vintage figures that are like graded. So all of those loose figures right there are actually graded loose figures, and they have quite a bit to see there. Some TMNT right there. I think those might be the soft head turtles that are graded and loose. They look freaking amazing. Look at that Splinter and the Shredder. Just beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous right there. You got some black hole figures on card. Those are very, very cool. This will not be the last time you see black hole figures in this video. Buck Rogers figures. How about those? Used to have some of those when I was a kid. Got some superpowers. You're going to see a lot of Star Wars here, so they do have quite a bit of carded, graded Star Wars vehicles, accessories, and figures as well. So just kind of there's a Death Star space station. That's very awesome. Used to have some of these little micro sets. Those are very cool. Here we get into the figures. It is absolutely amazing how many carded Star Wars figures they have. There's a Bespin Han, a Bespin Luke. Just absolutely amazing just to look at. They're far out of my price range to start buying these. So this is a black hole I've been trying to avoid. Look at all those Yodas. I mean, that's Yoda City right there. Just a ton of them. And masks, something near and dear to my heart, but these are carded, graded, so they're very pricey. Very pricey mask. But there are some G.I. Joe carded, graded figures. Once again, I'm still in the vault at this point. Basically going through all of the vintage stuff first in the vault, and then I'm going to show you the rest of the store. I'm going to show you all the Hot Toys. I'm going to show you all the modern carded stuff. I'm going to show you some of the cases that they have out in the showroom area that are not graded loose figures, but you'll see what they got. Just a huge selection at this store. They had a great selection at the old store, but now with all this additional space, they just have a ton of room to put out stuff that they didn't have out before. These are very, very cool. These are pre-production samples right here. He-Man, I think that's the 2000X series. Pre-production samples. I love how these look. But very, very cool there. There's a Skeletor. Another Skeletor. A He-Man. I always think that these pre-production samples are very, very fascinating. And there we go. There's a full-size 1-to-1 scale Han and Carbonite. Very, very awesome. And there is a... what the frick? An Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. Now we're looking at some things that you don't see a whole lot of nowadays. These are action figure cases. You don't see these a whole lot because action figures have kind of gone the way of 6-inch, and obviously a case that would hold 6-inch figures would be a very large case. So cases were more prevalent back in the 70s and 80s when figures were 3 3/4 inch. Right now I'm showing a lot of lunch boxes. These are very, very cool. I never saw these at the old store, but these are actual 80s vintage metal lunch boxes. Just very, very awesome. And now I'm going to show you some figures that they have out in the main showroom area. Here's some G.I. Joe stuff, obviously. There's a bunch of Law right there. I don't see any order, but there's a bunch of Law figures. There's a Stun. And they have loose vehicles, as you can see there. That Stun for $40 is a nice price. And they also have boxed vehicles, as you can see behind the loose ones there. And that one right there caught my attention. That's the Cobra Moray Eel. That's one of the ones that I really, really want. So I go back to it and focus on it a little bit. And it just looks absolutely beautiful. I just don't have room for it right now. If I had room for it, I would get that one. I'd get the Killer Whale. Here's some Thundercat stuff. Vintage Thundercat stuff. There's a Thunder Tank. Those look very nice. There's some Battle Damage or Battle Armor Skeletors there. I thought this was very cool. This is like an old like food tray, like a dinner tray. That was G.I. Joe. And moving on to, here's a wall, just an absolute wall of modern carded figures, a lot of Hasbro stuff. There's a case back there near that wall that has a lot of carded vintage stuff. It's not graded. There's a Boulder Hill right there. There's a Ghostbusters Firehouse. There's some Eagle Force figures, some Robotech figures. I love the Robotech figures. Some G.I. Joe that are carded, Action Force. More Star Wars. These are not graded. They're just carded Star Wars. There's a G.I. Joe headquarters right there. There's an Alf. More carded modern Star Wars figures. Just an entire wall of Star Wars stuff. There's some 6-inch Black Series stuff. There's some WWE carded right there. I'm going a little fast there, but there was just a lot to film. D&D right there. There's a couple Strong Hearts. New Adventures of He-Man carded. Masters carded. Secret Wars carded. There's a Silverhawks figure carded. Superpowers. There's a Thundercats playset. There's the Ghostbusters Firehouse. Again, just a ton. An absolute ton of stuff to look at in the store. So I apologize if I'm going too fast by anything, but I just had to get a lot of stuff in kind of a short amount of time. But I did film there for 2.5 hours. There's some NECA stuff right there, loose NECA stuff. Here's some Build-A-Figures and larger Marvel Legends that are loose. There's some DC Multiverse Collect and Connect figures in the back there. And then you got some more larger figures, some larger Marvel Universe figures there. Here are some Transformers that are in a case out in the main showroom. Some box stuff and some loose stuff. Very, very nice looking stuff right there. There's a Jetfire or a Skyfire with box. I see a Hoist there. I see a Blitzwing. I see a Metroplex. Here's some SHF stuff. There's some Dragon Ball Z. And there is also Ultraman. And some WWE. And this Freddie Mercury, it's a new figure and it just looks awesome. Just an awesome looking SH Figure Arts Freddie Mercury. Some more SHF stuff there, some Street Fighter. And then there is some Marvel SHF right there, some Infinity War. Here's a Thor Ragnarok piece right there. And an Ant-Man. And then this was just a little rack that was over kind of by the Hot Toys area. Some Marvel Universe figures there, some G.I. Joe carded. here's the Hot Toy stuff. So there's a Kylo there. There's a Luke, Jedi Luke, AT-AT driver. There's a Stormtrooper, a Yoda from Empire. That's hard to find now. Some Force Awakens troops there. There's a Phasma, Finn and Riot Trooper. And then there's a Mondo Faker. Deadpool, Black Panther, a couple sideshow pieces right there. There's a Punisher War Machine Hot Toys figure. And a couple die-cast Iron Man figures. And then some DC stuff that Batman has sold out a lot of locations. And then there's a Batman from Suicide Squad. And then here is some more carded stuff. There's some Masters, some Retro Masters, some Motu Classics. Again, just an absolute huge selection. Pretty much anything you're looking for, they have. Here's the NECA section. A lot of NECA horror stuff there. They also have the new Turtles in Time. I love these. Slash, Foot Soldier. There's a Donnie. And then they have the DC Multiverse McFarlane line. There's an Arrow, which is kind of hard to find. There's a Superman Unleashed. That's also kind of hard to find nowadays. Some Gremlins. Some more horror stuff by NECA. All carded. New on card. Boxed up. There's some Ghostbuster stuff. There's Dana Barrett. There's Venkman. Gozer. I should have looked behind those to see if they had a stance and the rest of the Ghostbusters there. But there's some Storm collectible stuff. Lots of Storm collectibles. Street Fighter, a couple Chun-Li's, Akumas, some Mortal Kombat figures. Very nice. And then some of the Realization Bandai. Here's the Mezcos. So scanning the Mezcos. Lots of nice looking Mezcos there. They do have the It figure, the Pennywise It. Friday the 13th. A couple nice ones in there. And then here are the Siege War for Cybertron and Earthrise figures. Transformers. More Transformers, some Studio Series stuff. Of the newer figures there. And then these were very, very cool. These are Diamond Select Black Hole figures. This is my first time seeing these in person, but there's Vincent and Old Bob. They just look fantastic. They're $40, but they are very, very large. They're a lot bigger than I was expecting them to be. They're like they're larger than 7-inch scale, I think. I mean, they're huge. But there's Maximilian, I think was his name. They do have an arcade in there, and I was actually surprised. These are not one-up machines. These are original arcade machines, and they are all free to play. No quarters, nothing. Just go in there, hang out, play some games. These are the originals. This one was a very nice piece that was shown to me at the front counter. It is a Darth Vader replica helmet, or the Hasbro helmet, but it's signed by James Earl Jones. Homie the Clown in living color. I had no idea that they actually made in living color merchandise, but here's the end of the video. There's the guest book, and they asked me to sign it, so there you go. Holy frick, the store rocks. Alright, I am all done, and I was in there for 2.5 hours. I would 100% recommend going to the store if you're in Dallas, if you're in Texas, if you're passing through. But here is my haul. I did buy some stuff while I was in there. I bought some vintage stuff, and I bought one kind of modern thing, but I got Tripwire right there. I needed a Tripwire, so I picked him up. I don't know why I didn't have Tripwire in my collection, but now I do. As far as the vintage stuff that I picked up a Mask vehicle, and this is a vehicle that I did not have in my collection. This is a vehicle that I have wanted in my Mask collection for quite some time now, and this is the Stinger. So there you go. But this is a badass car that turns into a tank. The chrome on these little smokestacks are really, really nice and bright. But how about that? That is freaking awesome right there. And he's got that little thing there. The only thing missing on this vehicle was there was a little cannon, like a turret, that extends from right there. And this one did not have that, so I'll be looking for that, I guess, on eBay. But otherwise, this is in great condition. I got it for a great price. But there is the Stinger. Badass. Car that turns into a tank. And these little guns in the wheels also pop up, as you can see there. But very happy to finally pick this one up. I've wanted this one for a few years now. But very freaking awesome. These other things that I picked up, I would assume that probably 90% of you have never heard of or never collected. This was a very not very well-known line from 1981. And these actually came out before G.I. Joes. So these kind of prepped me for wanting little army men. And when G.I. Joes came out in 82, I was all aboard. And I remember distinctly, I was like 6 years old, and my mom bought me some of these. And they bring back a lot of memories. And I got these on card. So they're called Eagle Force figures. And they're made by Mego. And these are absolutely freaking awesome to me. These are very cool, very nostalgic. But this one right here is Zapper. He is the Electronics Whiz, as you can see there. These little figures, they're very small figures. I'd say they're probably like, I don't know, like 2.5 inches tall, but they're die cast. That was kind of the weird thing about these, is that these are die cast figures. But there is a little close-up of Zapper. And the other thing about these is there's a little comic strip on the back of these cards. I also like vintage figures that have the price tag still on. This has a little Target price tag. It was on clearance for 50 cents way back when, way back in the 80s, but it is unpunched, as you can see there. So I got Zapper, and I got another one. This is Harley, and Harley was the ace mechanic, hence the name Harley. But let me show you him. Again, all die cast figure right there. I love the little art on the cards here. Die cast metal, Eagle Force. And then here's the little comic strip on the back here. And then I got one more, and I got the Cat, and he is the escape artist. And I remember having this one. I think I had Harley too, but I had this one, and I had KO, and I think I had Harley. But I remember this one because it came with this MAC-10 submachine gun that with the silencer, the suppressor there, which is what Mutt also had from G.I. Joe. So very cool. The Cat, Eagle Force. But that was my haul, guys. So I went to Dallas Vintage Toys. I bought mostly vintage stuff. But hopefully you saw some stuff in the video that interested you. But that is it for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up. I appreciate that. Had a great time. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys soon. Adios.